Right, so I wanted to do an update on the computer situation. Just a minute. As you know, my computer was dying, right? And I need to try and explain what's going on with that, because it's been driving me nuts, right? Obviously not being well as well at the same time. Let me just check something. Right, so I did a motherboard update recently. Right? I don't know, is my sound working? It was dying, right? Yeah, I had to make sure, because I hate it when I do a live stream and I spend 30 minutes or 20 minutes doing a live stream, and then somebody says, oh, there's no sound. Yeah, that happens because of the multi-channel system. So a few weeks ago, I ordered another motherboard for the computer, and it's exactly the same as the one that's in my machine. The plan was to initially was to replace the motherboard in my machine that's faulty, right? And then I thought, well, the trouble with doing that is it means I've got to take this one out of service completely, and now I've got no computer at all then, right? If it's working, it's working. If it's not, it's not. If it's not working, then that's fine. I can just take the motherboard out and put the other one in, right? Well, that was the original plan, was to replace it. And I thought, well, the old 939 motherboard, the 939, which is dual core, twin core, which I've been meaning to sort out for bloody years, like, no, it's getting on for years. And I decided I got another motherboard for that. And it was cheap, it wasn't expensive. I got to thinking about it, and I thought, well, it really can't do a lot. It can't run anything like Second Life, and it's not very good for video encoding, because my brain wasn't working right. And so when I bought the bloody thing, I should have thought a bit bigger, and I should have thought about upgrading to the same motherboard as what I've got in this machine, right? Because then you can swap parts from one to the other. Yeah, it's like having two exactly the same cars, right? You can swap the engine from one to the other, right? But you can't do that with certain computers because of the different memory, different CPU configuration, all sorts of stuff, right? Anyway, so I ordered the other motherboard, which is another, is it 942? I can't remember now. But anyway, it's the Asus, the same as one I'm using, right? So I ordered this other motherboard. It was like 30 quid. It wasn't expensive, but I was skint at the time, and my friend helped me out. And but when it arrived, we discovered that the D-sub video adapter on the back was bent up slightly. And at first, alarm bells were going off. Oh, this is not good. And then I realised, no, this is the onboard graphics. I don't even need the onboard graphics, because I'll be using another video card, right? So, yeah, I'm still sick. I'm not right yet. Still not right. I've finished my antibiotics and my the medication doctor gave me, I'm still not right. So I thought, well, this motherboard, even though it's got a bent D-sub video output for the onboard graphics, it came with a CPU, for 4-core CPU. Normally, if you buy a CPU, you can expect 30, 40, maybe 50 quid second hand. And because it came with a CPU, this motherboard that's got a bent socket on it, thought, well, if I send it back, I've got to send the CPU back with it. I've still got to buy a CPU if I'm not happy about that motherboard. And that would probably cost me another 30, 40 quid, right? So I thought, well, I'll just keep it, even though it's got a bent socket on it. I can keep it for parts because it's got the CPU with it. It's got no back plate with it. And I need a back plate to keep the sockets from flopping about. So I had another think about it, because I've had plenty of time to think about it, because I've been sick in bed and not sleeping and everything else. And I thought, well, these things are going second hand quite cheap at the moment, because a lot of people are upgrading because of Windows. People who are using Windows need a much stronger machine, because Windows is bloatware. Windows is bloatware. It needs a lot of memory, it needs a lot of processing time. Linux doesn't, and I'm using Linux now. Linux is much more resource light. Doesn't eat up all your memory. It doesn't lag you out like Windows does. So last week excuse me. Last week I saw another motherboard on eBay, another second-hand one. It's in really good shape. It has a back plate but no CPU, and it was 30 quid. I thought, right, if I buy a back plate for this CPU, that's going to cost me at least 10 quid, because they were selling them for like 10 quid. So that means if I sent this other motherboard that's bent, that's got a bent socket on it, if I sent it back, I'd have to buy a back plate and another motherboard, and that would end up costing me, what, 40, 50 quid. I thought, well, it makes sense just to hang on to the bent one, use the CPU of that one, and put it in the other motherboard, get the other motherboard for 30 quid, because it's got a back plate with it. It's already got a back plate. So I don't have to spend on that. So basically all I'm doing is spending another 20 quid. So that's what I decided to do. So I ordered the other motherboard, another one, exactly the same as what I'm using here. So that means I've got 3 motherboards exactly the same. There's one, the machine I'm using right now is faulty. It's got a problem somewhere. I haven't figured it out. We can't figure it out. It's a mystery. When I pull it out of the cabinet, when I pull the computer out of the cabinet, it usually works. But when I push it back into the cabinet, it sometimes won't boot. Sometimes. And we figured, oh, it could be a USB that's pushing against the side of the cabinet wall. It's a funny angle. It's not connecting right. But on saying that, there's been a few times I pulled it out and I wiggle the USBs around, nothing happens, it still wouldn't boot. Then other times I'd wiggle about the graphics card at the back and it would boot. So I couldn't figure it out what was intermittent what the problem was, because it's one of them. It's one of them. Now you see me, now you don't. Now you see me, now you don't. You know the game. You can't see what the problem is. Anyway, so I ordered this other motherboard because I thought I'm not farting about with this freaking thing that's got a bent socket on the back, trying to line it up, and I also need a back plate for it. Thought I'd just get another freaking motherboard, use the other one, use the CPU of that one for this other motherboard, and also have a back plate with it. Problem solved. I'll also have a spare BIOS on the damaged motherboard. I've also got the heatsink and fan for it already. So the other one, the second motherboard I bought, doesn't have a heatsink and fan. So I ordered that previously, and that's going to work. And while I was looking at this motherboard, guess what appeared in the suggestions at the bottom? A graphics card. Exactly the same as the graphics card I'm using on my existing machine. And that was 30 quid too. That was also 30 quid. Well, I thought, oh my God, all this stuff, the people, everybody that's using Windows, Microsoft Windows, is upgrading like left, right and centre because of bloatware. And they're all having to upgrade their machines and sell all their old computer stuff off because they're trying to keep up with Microsoft. I don't want to be on that treadmill anymore. I don't want to be on that freaking Microsoft treadmill anymore. I'm sick of it, right? Anyway, I see this graphics card, exactly the same as what I've got, and I've had it for over 10 years. It's been a very good graphics card. I've never had any trouble with it. As far as I'm aware, it's not the cause of my problems right now. So I decided to get that as well, because that way I've got a graphics card. I can swap out with my graphics card that I've got in the machine, eliminate if that's the problem. If it is the problem, I've solved the problem by swapping it out, which means I've got a machine that's fixed. Then I've got another machine which I can build and get another graphics card for if I need to do, if it's a graphics card. So I've got options, right? So before I had no options because I had no parts to swap out with the same parts, you know what I mean, same type. But now I've got options because I've got parts, right? And that's what I like to have. I like to have options because I'm sick of fucking about. Excuse my language, but I'm really sick of all it. Literally sick, right? I've had health problems, computer problems, everything's going wrong. It's just about time we had a lucky break, you know what I mean? So I spoke to my friend Ken, and he's insisting that I do a test this existing motherboard, the one with the bent socket. And he's right. I have to test it because I need to make sure that the CPU on it is good at the very least. I don't want to be sticking the CPU out the damaged motherboard in another motherboard if the CPU's trash. Because if that motherboard and CPU is bad in any way, I can still send it back and get my money back, you see, because I've got until June, right? And I do want to live stream it. I want to live stream it if I can, but it'll be in segments because of my voice. I'll probably have to do it in sections. I can't talk very long because my larynx, the larynx that is inflamed, right? So So I've got another graphics card and another motherboard arriving this week. That way, when I start fighting about testing it, I'm not going to get to a point where I'm going to think, oh no, this one's no good either. This is no good either. But I'm not going to get to that because I'm going to have another option. I'm going to have another option, which is what I want. So you just have to bear with me because I've not been feeling like doing anything really at the moment. I mean, videos and all this, and it's sleeping is bad at the moment. Go to bed, an hour and a half later I wake up wanting to use the toilet because I'm drinking loads of medicine and fruit juice and all sorts of stuff, and so constantly in and out of the bathroom all the time, and then there's coughing still coughing stuff up, which is not pleasant, and then after I've been asleep in and out of bed about 6 times in one night, I wake up like a bear with a sore head, right? Very grumpy and very miserable and really like ready to bite somebody's head off. And I have done that a few times. Mostly in second life, because let's face it, when you're really frustrated and when nothing's working right and everything's getting at you, it wears you down. It really does. And a friend of mine who was in second life, I'm worried about him. He's older than me. I think he's in his 70s. He thinks he's dying. He's got the same thing, and whatever this thing is, it's nasty, and I don't believe it's an accident. I don't believe in viruses being accidental or natural. Some bugger is effing around in these freaking laboratories. Whether it's Wuhan, I don't give a shit where it is. They're still effing around and messing with our lives. It's just not on. And at some point they're gonna reap some karma for what they're doing. The fact that these people predicted it, and they did. 2010 they said they were going to have this. Oh, they said that because they know it was coming, because they planned it. You don't predict stuff like that. Viruses are not psychic, right? It's like a machine. A machine is not psychic. The only thing that you can actually read about the future is to do with human consciousness. That's where we're connected. Excuse me. When you get rid of this stuff, you need to get rid of it. Full stop. You don't want to regurgitate it. Oh, no way, no. Trust me. I tried that a little bit and it made me sick. Whatever this virus was, I'm over the worst of it. But I've still got it in my chest, in my throat. Obviously, that's why I can't talk properly. So I'm going to go, and thank you for watching. And yeah, I just hope everybody else out there stays well and fit and doesn't end up getting what we've got. As in me and my friend who's in New Zealand. He's thousands of miles away. How the hell does he get the same thing I've got at the same day? Right? No, it didn't come in on an aeroplane. It might have dropped from an aeroplane, but it didn't come in on an aeroplane. You see what I'm saying? that crap was spraying on us. See you later, bye.